This is Heroic Throne of the Tides on my level 85 Protection Warrior. Now, my Protection Warrior is not really in that great of gear. I just kind of tanked a bunch of the normals, got him in some blues. He does have a few epics from the Justice Point system, but he's not really all that geared. I don't really know all the strategies going in to this, but I decided I'd go ahead and try to tank one or two heroics, and this one actually went pretty well. This was the first one that I had ever tanked. And right here is you're going to see the trash pulls. You just want to get CC on the healers and make sure that after you get CC on at least one healer that you go ahead and DPS the other healer down first. As far as I can tell, these trash mobs don't really do anything any different than their normal modes, other than they hit a lot harder and the healers actually heal a lot more. So make sure you get CC on those healers. I think these first packs have actually got 3 healers in each group. Then just go through and take the healers out one at a time. I think we may have even CC'd one that wasn't a healer. It may have just been like a mage, but it's always better to CC the casters than it is the melee DPS, because you have more talents to give you defense against melee damage than you do against like the physical damage. So if there's no healers in the group, just CC the casters. It'll help your healer out a lot. And this is a small pack that I just wanted to make sure that we got out of the way, because I wouldn't want it to patrol onto us while we had the next group with the healers in it. Not really that big of a deal. You just AoE them down. They go down pretty easy. These 3 trash pulls are pretty much the standard trash pulls for this run. That's the reason I'm only going to include those 3 trash pulls right here, because I don't have actually keybinds on this character like I do on the leveling warrior to actually mark targets. So I just go ahead and right there our rogue gets seen, so I go ahead and charge in and try to pick them all up before he dies. And so now we're having to tank them all. Burn a couple of cooldowns here to make sure that I stay alive. Just stay out of the green stuff that's on the ground. Right here I'm trying to pull him away so we didn't get this ad. This is one of the other mobs in the dungeon that you need to watch out for. What he's going to do is he's going to throw poison on the ground. It's not a good idea to take him with everybody else, but the healer in this group was really good and kept us up. It was pretty much all her, because my gear was not good enough to actually be able to tank all of those guys, I don't believe. But we finish off everyone else, and then we just finish off the big guy. You have to keep pulling him around so that you're not standing actually in the green acid that he's going to throw on the ground. That's going to do a lot of damage to you. Also, whenever you pull him, you're going to want to make sure that not only you pull him out of the stuff that he throws on the ground, but you're also going to want to make sure that you give your DPS, like your rogues and your paladins and warriors who are DPSing, enough space that they can have a stand behind him so they don't get dodged or parried and not actually be in the damaging ability. But that's pretty much all the trash pulls are going to be, just a different version of those pulls. This is the first boss. I really had no idea what I was doing on this boss. I just decided that I'd go in and tank these runs without actually looking up how to do any of the heroic bosses. What I can figure out is she's going to throw these spores on the ground. You want to miss those. Don't stand in the green stuff. She's also going to throw these big blue pools, which I think I get a good view of on when she throws one on the warlock right here. When she does that, you want to do just like our warlock does and get out of the way, because it will knock you up in the air and you'll take a big chunk of damage. Now whenever she does this, she's going to spawn the edge just like she does in the normal mode. You need to pick all of those up as the tank. Try to land some CC on one of the casters if you have it in your group, like a mage or a shaman. And pick the big guy up. He's going to be the hardest hitting one of all of them. Go ahead and pick him up. She's also going to throw these little blue tornadoes. You need to get out of the way of those. There's not that many in the first time that she throws the vortex up around herself. Just as you can see here, just move out of the way. and then pick up the other ads that didn't get that got CC'd. Just stay out of the way. As you can see, our rogue actually gets hit by that one, and that's what it does whenever you get hit. It just picks you up. It's also a damage over time spell. Go ahead and charge in on this guy, on the boss again, and just again, just stay out of the green stuff. Don't stand in the blue stuff, and you will be fine. This run actually doesn't go all that great because apparently not everyone in this group was really good at dodging those tornadoes. And right here she's going to start. This is the second time around. I go ahead and pick up the big guy. Try to land some CC, get out of the way of the tornadoes. And now she starts really throwing a lot of tornadoes. So you need to keep moving. Right there, I got too close to the boss. Didn't have enough time to get out of the way. Luckily for me, our healer was able to keep me alive during that. As I said before, our DPS wasn't all that great at staying out of the tornadoes. Our rogue actually ends up going down here to the tornado. Well, he just got hit by a chain lightning. I think our warlock also went down to the tornadoes. I'm not actually sure 100% on how he died, but I want to say it was the tornadoes. So right now it's just the three of us left standing. It's the shaman as DPS, our priest as a healer, and I'm still alive as the tank. Right here, we're just going to try to DPS. I'm really trying right here to make sure that I get its proper rotation for as much DPS as possible. Right there, she throws those green spores on the shaman, quickly moves out of the way. The water spout underneath the priest, and he quickly moves out of the way. And this boss is 3-manable. Just you just need to be good about dodging tornadoes. You need to be good at dodging the water and the spores. As you can see right there, move out of the water spores. Our shaman is still DPSing. Right there, I need to just make sure that I keep the boss in range of his fire elemental, because his fire elemental is going to be a lot of DPS. And we actually finished the boss fight. Okay, this is the... You can skip the cutscene that's going to be between these two. Just hit escape. This is the second boss. It's going to be right after that boss I just showed. No trash pulls at all. This boss is basically the same as the other boss. It's going to be just don't stand in the purple stuff. And as he throws down these purple things on the ground, they're going to grow bigger and bigger, and you're going to actually run out of room to stand. So you really need all your DPS to be on top of their game here. And put him down before the whole room's floor is covered with the purple stuff. He doesn't actually hit all that hard, so you don't really have to worry about defensive cooldowns. So what I like to use is to use my shield block to actually burst on the boss. Go ahead and hit that every time I can so that I shield slam really hard. See, as you can see there, that purple thing is actually growing on the floor. You need to stay out of those. Now right here I actually make a mistake as tanking. I should have pulled the boss back toward where my casters were. Instead I decided to come this way, and the shaman's fire elemental total is going to get out of ranged, and it's going to just stand there and not actually be able to help us. So if I would have pulled it the other way, the DPS would have been a lot harder on the target, as the fire elemental does quite a bit of damage. Now right there is a squeeze ability. You can't interrupt it, as I just tried to do right there. I tried to pummel it. It's non-interruptible. You just have to have your healer heal through it. One thing you do want to make sure that you do is to give your DPS enough room on the opposite side of the boss to stand there and not actually be in the purple stuff. But as you can tell, you'll eventually run out of room, and so you'll just need to keep backing into a corner until he goes down. And there he goes, and the purple stuff disappeared. Alright, now this is the third boss, and this boss is completely optional. We went ahead and did it because I just wanted to get as many heroic bosses down as I could. We had a good group, and it was going pretty well, so we decided we'd go ahead and kill this boss. This boss is kind of a shaman at first, and then it's just that thing on his head. What you need to do here is make sure you point this guy away from the group. He's going to do a lot of fire damage in a cone. Do not have him pointed at the group. Right here, we just start DPSing him down. He's going to throw spikes on the ground. Make sure you move away from the spikes. Don't just sit there and get hit by them. There's the fire, with the spikes still going on that side of him over there. One thing I'm not sure about is if that fire is actually interruptible. I should have tried, but I didn't. Now, whenever you get this guy down about, I think it's around 50%, the actual boss is going to come off of that shaman's head, and then you'll actually just be fighting that thing, and its damage is not all that great. Right here, the boss philosophy. He comes off the boss's head. You need to taunt him real quick to pick him up, and then just start your normal rotation. You go from trying to dodge fire and spikes to now you just want to stay out of the green stuff. He's actually going to jump on a group member of yours head, and they're going to use all the group members' abilities, depending on whose head he lands on. That could be more difficult than it should be, but it's not really that hard. Right there, he landed on our priest. It's pretty easy. Priest abilities just don't have that much damage, so you just go after him. Right here, you just want to stay out of the green stuff. He's going to put a bunch of green stuff on the ground, just stay out of it. I think I remember from running this on a Shadow Priest at one point or another that he does do a magic absorb, but I don't know anything about that. Right there, he drops a really good tanking trinket. He drops a porcelain crab, which is really good. Trinket adds a lot of dodge, adds mastery on your melee attacks. This is the last boss of the dungeon. It's more like an event than it is like a boss fight. As soon as you start the event, you're going to get these little Murloc patrols that you're going to have to really just pick up an AoE tank. And then you want to pick up the ads to keep them from doing damage to the guy who you're kind of protecting in the middle there. And then you're going to have these big guys spawn. Just go ahead and pick them up. Mainly, the Murlocs aren't that big of a deal. Any DPS can take those down with any AoE ability. Just make sure you pick up all the big elites. And stay out of the purple stuff on the ground. I think that he actually summons 3 of the big guys. I'm not sure. Once you get rid of those, then you shouldn't have to worry about any more ads coming. And there's the 3rd. And you just DPS these guys down like you do any trash mobs. This last boss fight is kind of like a gimme fight. In my opinion, the other bosses in here are harder than this boss. And I mean, as long as you can get through those, this is just a free loot to finish off the dungeon. Just keep on picking up the ads here until you get to phase 2. In phase 2, it's a little bit different. A little more reliant on you having a decent tank to pick up ads. Right here is phase 2. There are going to be 3 of these guys. But the big part is, as a tank, you just want to try to help your DPS until you see one of those guys spawn. They're called Shadow Beast. They drop down huge things of the black oil looking stuff on the ground. You don't really have to kill these guys. Just go ahead and pick them up and tank them. Keep them off your DPS while your DPS takes down the 3 ads that are channeling on the person in the middle. They'll continually drop more and more. Every time you kill one of those ads, there will be another one drop. You just want to either taunt or heroic throw to pick these guys up and get them on you. Go ahead and kite them around until your DPS finishes off the last of the 3 channeling ads. Once they finish off the last of those 3 channeling ads, then you just, as you're going to see right here, he's going to make you grow big. Go ahead and finish off these 3 ads, because if you don't, they actually do quite a bit of damage. Once you grow big, it's just basically a DPS race versus the damage over time. But it's a cakewalk once you take out the ads and just DPS this guy down. You're going to want to do your best to DPS him down. There is no tanking here, so just keep your DPS rotation in mind. Shield slam as much as possible. Devastate to get more shield slam procs. You want to revenge anytime it comes up, but since you're not getting hit, you're not going to get any revenges. And right there you can actually see me get the normal achievement for Throne of the Tides and the heroic version. And that's really all there is to this dungeon.